let's go ahead and uncomment this section. Save. So we have our Einstein and we have a lot of images and we get borders around everything, almost everything. So what's going on here? First off, we have this at the top saying body and there's a space. It's a significant thing to have a space here. And then it says universal selector. So what this says, it says, I'll start at body, which is here. Okay. This is the level where it starts. And then it goes inside. And it doesn't go inside in the way that it just selects the things just beneath body. It, through doing this space, it says everything inside. It doesn't say just my children. It says everything inside. Select everything. So this is like going inside, but just not defining what it's important. It's important. The selector doesn't define what it's going to search for, and then it's going to say everything. Well, just to explain the difference, if I put this one here instead, not the whole thing, body, and had this on, and then save. Now you can see that most of the borders are gone. You can see there's a border between these two sections, and there should be more borders. I want a border here, one around this one. So why is that? Why do we not get this, selection where it selects everything? Well, let's go back to the HTML because there's a significant thing to this. You really need to know this. If I go and say I use this sign, I'll select everything that is directly inside, which is all of these. And it's not going to select the things that are inside them. So this is not selected. I'm selecting everything. I'm just going one step inside and selecting everything inside. Now, if I wanted specific things inside there, I could have gone ahead and used something else like article. Now, I'm going to again go to body, step one step inside, and select article. So all this one and that one. But the article, if there's an article inside this one, which I don't think it is, let's see. If there were an article in one of those sections, for example, or an article in one of those articles, like articles inside articles, well, in that case, these articles would not be selected. I've just selected the articles that are directly inside. That is important. You need to know what you select. So what I've done here instead, when I have a space, I'm just saying, you can reverse it and say I'm going inside of body and selecting everything. So what I'm really not selecting is body. I'm selecting everything inside of body. And to prove this to you, I'm going to go ahead and first off, I'm going to change so you can see body. I'm going to give it some kind of, maybe I could give it some kind of margin. So margin, and I go 5 rem. When I do that, you see that everything is going to be pushed in from the side. And since you have a margin, I think I can put this one a bit further down, like put 2.5 rem. You can see there's like this margin from the sides going on. And then I can give the background, the body, a background color of just maybe I shouldn't do that. No, I'll do that over here instead. I give everything else a background color. So I go with some kind of blue, A, B, F, and I'm using 8, so I get some kind of opacity going on there. And there we have this bluish purple thingy going on. And you can see there's a space out here. Now we want to create a padding as well. So I'll do that quickly by just adding padding over here. Okay, so there's an extra space. I have first margin and then padding. And then I'm going to add the border that would have been around body if it had been selected. So let's go ahead and add that one. I'm going to take this one and you'll see where it ends up. I'm gonna make it wider so you can definitely see it. I'm going to make it really completely black. So there you go. First, the margin is the outer one. It's the distance away from other things. Now, body doesn't have other things around it, but still it's the distance from the screen sides, the sizes of the browser. So now that is a distance from that. And then it introduces the border, which is the next level. It's the outside of the body element. And then introduces the padding, which is the padding before anything else can be put inside the body. So it's a padding around. It's, I explained these concepts earlier on. But so that's where the border would have been introduced had it worked. Now I remove it, this one, and I place it over here. So I did the same. And you see that's the border that would have been introduced if body would have been selected by the selector. Now it isn't, because the selector selects everything inside of body. It's a big, I've been talking around this a lot, but it was really useful for you, I think, to see the difference there between something that is called a direct child and just everything inside. Now, we'll get back to that concept very shortly, because in the next, you see here, selector, we have a couple of things going on for us. That's actually really valuable for you to be introduced to. We have this body. So we start at body, and we go directly inside and looking for a header. So just to keep this sane, sorry, not that one. And you remove this over here. We can start by saying, what did it do? So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to do that over here as well, uncomment it. And I'm going to, you'll see now, if I just put this back again, you see it puts some kind of distance to the left and to the right. So everything is centered and there is a distance to the left and the right. So that seems to be the purpose of these selectors. Now, what do they select? So first one, body, header. Okay, let's go and split this one and put this to the right so we can see it. Maybe I should put this one to the right instead. Yep, I think so. Because what I'm able to do now is to see this at the same time. I'm saying, go to body, so we start here. And do this as a practice in the beginning. Just follow around and see what you select. And then I'm saying directly inside, so we're only looking at these. And then it goes to header. Okay, open header. And then it says directly inside, so we're only looking at the things that are directly inside, not these. So 1, 2, 3. And then it says select all of those. So it's these children that are going to be selected, not the ones inside. So H1, P, and nav are going to be selected. So why did I do it this way? Could have said just go header. And it would have taken header, gone directly inside and selected everything. But the problem with doing that, in this case, is that I have multiple headers. So it would have started also at the same time going to this header and selecting all of these. And it would have gone to every other header that I have in this page and selected them. And gone directly inside of them and so on and so forth. You see, where I start is like going on a map. It really depends if I'm close to the pool and I don't want to fall down in it. It really matters if I'm 10 meters away from it and someone says going 12 meters forward. And I'm closing my eyes, I'm walking, I'm going to be in the pool. Now, if I started off elsewhere, like far further away, saying some kind of football field far away, and someone says go 12 meters forward. Now, that would make a significant difference because I wouldn't walk into the pool. So where I start from is really significant. You see, it's a very natural thing to think about when you're walking around and not jumping into pools, but it is as significant in this context. Now, what does this mean? Well, it really means and. That's it, and. Which is och in Swedish. So it's very simple. It says, I want you to select this, and I want you to select this, and I want you to select this. The only thing is that you should not do this, because that's syntax error. I cannot put an and at end, because then it expects me to put some other selector afterwards. So you just have one like this. So we have body, header, main, and something. So what's going on here? What's really going on? So we're going to body, header, that one. We have understood it one. I think you can use the same kind of thought around this. So we're saying, then we're going to main, into main, and then I'll select everything inside. So it's these. Perfect. And then I'm going to main again. And I'm doing something else. Now I'm going to this one, but this sign says everything, every sibling, there's parent, there's child, there's sibling. Every sibling that trails behind me. Not inside, not the one behind me, but every sibling that trails behind me. So it means it selects this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one. If this would have been a plus, which you will see in many times, plus would mean the sibling that trails behind me. So if you have many, it's going to take the first sibling that trails behind. I didn't say that. I used this tilde. And I think I don't know if that's the name for it anymore. I seem to have forgotten, but you can at least find it on your keyboard, which is on my keyboard. It's just very close to returns, the return, which is enter in Swedish. Then, so that's it. So let's go down to the code. It says everything here, all of these are going to be 80% of 80%. Yep, that's a good value, but 80% of what? Well, 80% in this context means that you're going to be 80% of the width of your parent. So if the parent, in this case, parent to many of these is going to be the body. And for those of them that do not have a parent, that is, for example, that is the body, the natural size any block element, as I said before, is 100% in width. So the default size is 100%, which means that the parent will always be 100%. 100% of what you say, again, 100% of the screen in that case. So 80% in this case, would it be equal to saying 80% of the screen width? Now it is not that you can ever replace percentages with the value viewport width or device viewport width, which is viewport VW or DVW. But in this specific context that we have, the situation we have right now, it is almost equal. Margin inline, it's basically saying margin left and margin right. it's looking at the inline values, so the one to the left and the one to the right. Margin block is looking to the one to the top and the one to the bottom. And then it says auto. Auto in this case, it means that it's going to look at, okay, we have 80% taking up. How much value is there to the left and to the right that is left for us? And it calculates that, and then it's going to put as much on the left as on the right. So what does that mean? It means that it centers it. It is centered because it places as much to the left as to the right. If the margin inline would only be to the left, it would, and we put out on it, here it's going to put all the values automatically, all the margin to the left. But now I put equal amounts on both the right and left. Try it out if you do not believe me. You'll see. And then I uncomment this one, and you can see it did something else. It's actually add a margin to the top of certain elements. And in this case, I've already walked through what these are, so you know which I've selected. And I could have said this one instead of saying margin top, because you said block start, which is of course a better practice to do. Because it takes into consideration a lot of other things. Specifically, like I said before, language directions. You know, not all languages are like the Western languages. And we have web pages in countries that use Arabic or Chinese. Things changes a lot when you read in a different direction. That is good and all. I think we can. I can put this one back. We can share screen, and then in the next video we'll go ahead and do things quite differently. And I'll see you there.